Well, I was having a good morning until I saw something on the road on my way to the studio. This guy driving his truck has his hand out the window, and guess what's in his hand? His coffee cup. He's just driving at 40 miles per hour with his coffee cup in his hand, out the window like a psycho. Hey, man, you get to go back to high school. That's it. Insane people. Why? Why?
Was there a lid on it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean? What? What do you mean? Oh, okay, Peyton.
Well, if it was an open mug, I was wondering how that would work because the coffee would be like flying back everywhere. So.
But he's living his life so recklessly. Anyway, it made me so angry. Maybe too angry on my way here. But we're going to have a good show today no matter what. Is that correct, Michael?
Yes, it is.
I sound so abusive this morning. But you know what is going to make me feel better? Guayaki, our sponsor. I've been drinking so many of these this week. I probably had 10. Did you know that, Michael?
I did not.
I texted you
That's
about it. That is a lot, actually. Everything going good with you, Michael?
It is. It is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Anything new in your life, or you're just hustling along?
just hustling along.
I read Michael's latest script, and it's very National Treasure-esque in the best way possible. Yeah.
It's fun. It's funny.
It's a fun adventure movie.
Fun adventure.
I like watching National Treasure and like the Da Vinci Code on airplanes. Or Oceans 11, 12, 13. And I feel like this movie is that kind of where I can like put on my hoodie, put on my beanie, I'm in there, and I'm in for the ride for an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Well, let's hope something happens.
Let's hope so. That's my pitch for Michael's movie, Founding Fathers. Am I allowed to say the title? I just said it.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
It's fine.
Well, yeah. I like how I asked permission after I've said it. We can edit this out. Michael, do we have any listener questions this week?
We have one.
Okay.
And it's a bit long, but it's very timely and poignant.
Great.
Hello, Wesam. I'm a big fan of the show and wanted to get your advice on financial things. I'm currently in a lot of student loan debt, like a lot. It's over $80,000. I have a theater degree, and I'm currently serving tables. I can barely make my bills at the end of the month. Sometimes I have to ask my parents for money too. I want to pursue my passion in acting, but I can barely focus on acting because I'm working so much, and I can barely focus on acting. Do you have any advice for me to get out of debt and make more time for acting? Anything would help. Thank you, Sarah.
Okay. I'm assuming they're in their 20s. Would you guys assume that's a fair? Yeah, assume. Yeah. I'm assuming as well. Listen, Sarah, right?
Sarah?
You're in the suck right now for sure. Having over $80,000, she said $80,000, right? Yeah, $80,000 in student debt is a sucky situation. And that's the reality of it. And you're going to have to pay that off slowly and over a long period of time, unless you win the lottery, correct? Guys, yeah. So here's what I suggest. Find something. Now, I'm not saying forget about acting, but find something else you're really passionate about. For instance, I have a friend of a friend, and they're really into fashion, but obviously they can't create their own fashion company, designing clothes, that kind of thing. But they do work in a high-end retail store where they make commission on high-end clothing. Like, I'm talking about some good commission. They have dresses in there, thousands of dollars, and they're passionate about clothing and that kind of stuff. So find something else you're passionate about. Maybe it is clothing. Maybe it's something else involved within acting, and pursue that career path so you can make money out of that area, if that makes any sense. Whether it be, maybe there's, maybe you're not making so much money as a server, but you'd be making more money as a production assistant somewhere, and that's hard to start off with as well, minimum wage, but you get usually overtime, and you get to be on set at least and around, your passion in the beginning. And then from there, you can start maybe, oh, well, you know what? I actually am really into assistant directing, or, man, I really like production design. I'm actually going to shadow the production designer and maybe spend a little bit of time doing that because there's some good money in it, or there's some good money in something else that I really love. Not to say you'll never go back to acting or you can't do acting at the same time, but there's other ways to make money, pay off your student debt, and have a little bit saved over other than serving tables, I think. And that's something you're going to have to figure out. It's tough for everybody. I also have another friend. They actually went back to school and got certified in a trade that they liked, and it was massage therapy. And then they're specialized in rehabilitation, and they really love helping people. So instead of going to a job that you're like, man, I don't want to be here, it's like, you know what? No, I'm actually honing in another craft of mine, and I'm helping people at the end of the day. So you leave feeling better, and you're like, you know what? I've got some money saved over, and now I can go to acting class on the weekends and start working on that other passion of mine. There's other passions that people have, I believe. Michael, you have this look of this smile on your face. Do you have a thought on that, or?
Oh no, I have 90,000.
Oh, you have 90,000.
Yeah.
90. Oh, in student debt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think it's so you feel that burden then.
Yeah.
And it sucks, man. It really sucks. But that's what it is right now, and it's okay. You know what I mean? This isn't gonna define you. You're gonna get over it. But you do have to work hard, prioritize, and be disciplined to a schedule to help you get out of that. Start cutting stuff out of your monthly expenses too that are unnecessary. Listen, as much as I like Netflix or cable or Hulu, if you're on a money crunch and you have to ask your parents for money at the end of the month, either borrow a friend's account or go on YouTube. Or there's plenty of entertainment on YouTube that's for free. Would you guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hours and hours. And I'm sure you have a friend out there who'd be more than willing to share that account with you. Also, meal prep. That saves you so much money. You can eat healthy and it tastes good for very cheap if you do it correctly. I'm not saying starve yourself, by the way. Everybody has their own diet, but I eat one meal a day for like 5 days out of the week, and I'm fine. I have some green tea, some guayaki, some yerba mate, and you'll survive. You'll be okay. So if it's a good, healthy meal, you'll be all right. Maybe a little snack and stuff like that. So figure out ways to cut from your expenses in the month like that, and you should be fine. I hope you get through this. And Michael, do you have anything else to add since you've got student debt too?
Not right now.
Not right now. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, for writing in. And yeah. So our guest today is none other than Brett Davern. He's a regular here on Wesam's World, and he hosts a morning show here on IDOBI Radio called The BRETT DAVERN Show, featuring Katie LeClaire. It's one of the best, if not the best, morning radio show out there for your morning commute. It starts at 7 a.m. Pacific time, and highly recommend you guys checking them out on 7 a.m. in the morning. It's live. They do it live in the studio, so it's awesome. And also they're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube, I believe, now as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Brett Davern. Brett, I can't get over how much I like your new look. Seriously.
Thanks, man.
Like, you look so rugged.
Thanks, dude. I am rugged. I'm manly.
Do you feel like Tom Hardy in the film, the Road Warrior film? What?
Yes.
What's it called again?
Mad Max.
Mad Max, yeah.
That's called Mad Max.
You giving off that vibe, like a clean Mad Max look.
No, we're just only gonna talk like this all the time.
Imagine doing the whole show.
Just talk like this. I think Tom Hardy's a great actor. I like him a lot. I'm serious. I do.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I like how you did an impression of him from that movie, and now you're like, no, he's actually a good
Well, that was just an impression of him in general. I think he just always is kind of like that, sort of.
Have you seen him in Taboo?
What is Oh, that's that crazy series, right?
British show.
Right.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, I've heard it's nuts. I haven't seen it.
My favorite role he's ever done is Bronson.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. That was
Right?
Yeah, man. That was like, for me, I saw that movie like when Netflix was like in its infancy still. Like, okay, so first version of Netflix, they send you DVDs, you send them back, right?
Yeah.
So there was that. Then there was like when they first started streaming stuff. I don't know if you guys remember or if anyone even remembers, because it wasn't that long ago, everybody, but so much has happened. It would just, they didn't have different categories and stuff. Like, it was like everything Netflix streamed was in like one line.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
I remember
Yeah.
that.
I remember Bronson was always like right up front, and I watched it like a million times.
Incredible
Yeah.
performance.
Oh, it was great.
Did you hear?
Who is this guy?
Did you ever see that interview he did with the actual criminal?
No.
So there's this great video on YouTube, and I'll kind of break it down for you right now about how the first time you actually talked to him, what happened, and it was
Wow.
the kind of this like enlightening moment he had with this like hardcore criminal. So he had been getting phone messages from this criminal on his voicemail. He's like, "Hey Tom, I heard you're gonna do a movie about me. Just want to talk with you." And he's like, "Oh Jesus, how'd you get my number?" Kind of thing. You know what I mean?
No,
and he's calling from prison.
Hold on, he was more like this.
That was the criminal, actually. Yeah. So finally, the guy, he gets a hold of Tom, and he tells Tom like, "Oh, I finally got you. How you doing, Tom? You know, how's everything?" And then Tom, being like the honest person he was, he couldn't like really lie to him or bullshit him. He just goes, "To be honest with you, I'm kind of having a rough time right now. I'm saying goodbye to somebody I love. I'm breaking up with my girl. I'm realizing I have so many personal problems, etc., etc." And the guy on the phone is the criminal is like, I guess his name is Bronson. I should stop saying criminal. He's,
Sure.
Yeah, it's so disrespectful.
The real Bronson.
The real Bronson is like, okay. And he goes, "Tom, did you hear about those floods up north?" And Tom's like, yeah. And he's like, "Well, there was this guy, and he got his leg stuck in this like hole, this like sewage hole, because of the floods and everything. And the firefighters came, and they were trying to get him out, but the water kept rising, and it was finally up to his neck, and they couldn't get his foot out. And then finally the water rose so high that he drowned." And Tom's like, okay. And he says, Tom, do you know what I would have done in that situation?" And he's like, no. He goes, "I would have told them to cut it off."
Jeez.
Tom, sometimes in order for us to grow and move on with our lives, we have to cut off a little bit of ourselves, no matter how much it hurts. And Tom was like, "Oh my God, who is this guy?"
Wow.
And so that was his introduction to this Bronson
It's
guy.
intense, man.
Very intense, but very smart individual.
That's why I cut all my hair off.
Hey,
You got to cut something off in order to truly grow.
maybe, but I kind of know the story. And it's
Of why I cut my hair off?
yeah, because the barber lady said, "Hey, why don't you cut your hair off?"
Yeah, I get talked into things, guys. I get talked into things very, very easily, especially if it's a lady. I just become a puddle of goo, and I'm like, "I'll do whatever you want. Sure, you're a lady." I got two stories for you. One is the hair. You want
Okay.
the hair one first, or do you want the other one
Let's
first?
talk about the hair one, because I still can't believe you did that. If somebody was telling me to shave my head off, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, but I think you'd look good.
No.
Why not?
I've never done it, so I don't know.
See, what are you so afraid of, man?
'Cause I
You
make
just told
money
that
like
big,
this right now.
Beautiful story about Bronson, and we all learned something from it, and then you shy right away from it.
Yeah, but it's not drowning me.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, okay,
Maybe you're drowning in your hair, man. No, so I've had like 3, maybe 4 different haircuts in my life so far. It's weird. Do you ever think about that kind of thing? When I was a kid, all the way up till maybe middle school, I had a pretty short haircut. Not this short like it is right now, but more of like a flat top, like kind of a crew cut kind of a look.
Mm-hmm.
And then in middle school, I grew it out, and because everyone was doing bowl cuts. All right, so there's haircut number 2, like parted down the middle, shaved on the sides, bowl cut. It was the 90s.
Yeah.
Don't judge me. Then in college and stuff, I started having the hairstyle that I then had for a really long time, which was just sort of a little longer on top, short on the sides, and just kind of messy. And, you know, that's just that sort of thing that everybody has, right?
Yeah.
And that I had, like, through Awkward and through a lot of the projects I've done and things. And I had that haircut for, like, a really long time, right?
Yeah.
And I was just sort of getting sick of it. And I was in the barber place, or I get my haircut at a Floyd's. I'm not fancy. I go to Floyd's, and the lady that cuts my hair, her name is Alyssa. Shout out, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been seeing her for like a year and a half. I love her, and I was sitting in there, and they have all these pictures on the wall of all these like rock stars and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And there's like a couple that have a short haircut like the one that I have now, and I like pointed at it, and I was kind of just joking. I was like, we should do that next time, you know, because I was just trying to make her laugh. Like, I just wanted, you know, like, haha, like, yeah, right. Like, you would never do that kind of a thing. And I go, no, I would do it. And she goes, all right, next time, let's do it. Let's just do it. It would look good. And so she starts like egging me on. It would look great. You should do it. It's in style right now. And I was like, all right, next time I'm going to do it. But I was more saying it just to kind of get a laugh and get a rise out of her. I like pushing people's buttons, you know?
Yeah.
So then I left. I got my normal haircut, left. Then the very next time I came in, which was, you know, maybe a month later, 5 weeks, I don't know, however often you get your haircut, 4 or 5 weeks later, I walk in at my appointment time, and she's sitting there, and she turns her chair around. She goes, you ready? I got the clippers ready. Let's do it. Are we buzzing this thing? And I was like, oh, man, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, all right, why not?
Oh my gosh.
I just made a decision like in the moment, like, man, why not? It's only hair. Who cares?
So brave.
It'll grow back. So brave. It'll grow back. So brave. There's people out there like going through, you know, horrible hardships and experiencing like famine and wars and all that. But Brett Davern cut his hair off, and man, is he brave.
Yeah, that's really brave. You didn't tell your wife, did you?
Yeah, well, leaving the house, she kind of knew that I might, because I had told her about joking around with the barber about doing it.
Yeah.
So when I was leaving the house, Mrs. Davern said, like, she was like, are you going to cut it all off? So I kind of, you know, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure. And she goes, just do it. Like, so she kind of was on board too. Mm. So I was getting egged on by a couple of different women in my life, and as I said before, I become a puddle of goo, and I do whatever they tell me to do.
I think this is so much better for you. It's going to open up so much more opportunity.
I like it, man. And then growing the beard with it, because I think you got to have the beard with it. I think if I was clean shaven and this short haircut, that might look a little strange. I think you got to go with the full bushy beard, which this thing's been growing for like 6 weeks now.
Dude, I'm so jealous of it because it's so evenly thick.
You just got to keep going. I'm looking at your stubble right now.
Yeah.
Like, it might be all right.
Bro, I've tried the whole beard thing.
Yeah.
The mustache isn't that thick. Right here is thick, and then right here on the right side, underneath my lip, not thick at all.
Yeah.
And this side, it's like...
It is interesting.
Yeah, weird genes.
When I'm looking at you, so it's your left.
Yes.
It does all connect, and I can see it in your stubble. And then, you're right. On the right...
Not so much.
A little Patch Adams over there.
Yeah.
Little patchy. All right, well, whatever.
Fun fact, no hair on my right leg.
Wait, are you being serious?
Hairiest leg you'll ever see on the left.
That's a joke.
Yeah, that is a joke.
Okay. You want to hear the other time some girls talked me into doing something?
Well, no. Let's move on.
I don't know.
Yes, please.
So I went to school in New York after high school. I took a year off between high school and going to this conservatory in New York for musical theater. So I was 19 years old, and I landed in New York City to go to. It's called AMDA. It's a musical theater conservatory, and so I landed. You know, they have all these sort of new student get-togethers and stuff for the first weekend, and you go to all these like little fun parties and little things that the school puts together, and you start meeting people and things like that. And so I developed this like group of friends pretty quickly right off the bat. A couple girls, couple guys, whatever, and we all start hanging out. And one of the girls that I was hanging out with, and nothing romantic or anything yet.
Uh-oh.
No. It wasn't like
Wait,
that.
for now? Aren't you married?
No.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
This isn't...
I'm getting bogged down by my own stupid joke. Okay, anyway.
No, I want to address this.
So we all started hanging out, and one of the girls that we were hanging out with said that she wanted to get a tattoo because, you know, you move away from home, you're at college, and she was like, I want to go get a tattoo. Who wants to come with me? And I think one of the other girls raised their hand, and one of the guys was like, oh, I'll tag along. And actually, I think he was like, I want to get a fake ID. And we were all like, well, that sounds like the same place. Let's just go down to the West Village in Manhattan because you can get all that done down there. And so we hop on the subway and we go to the Village and we find a tattoo parlor, and this girl's like talking to the tattoo guy and telling him what she wants and all that kind of stuff. And my buddy is like looking for a fake ID, so the same guy is like, oh, I could hook you up with that. We take the pictures in the back kind of a thing. I mean, New York's great.
Wow, so sketchy.
I love it. And so I'm just tagging along. I don't want to get a tattoo. I don't want to do anything. I'm just like there for the hangout, you know? And the other girl, the friend of the girl getting tattooed, looks at me and she goes, you should get a tattoo. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get a tattoo. And then she goes, well, maybe just get something pierced. And I was like, what? And she's like, you should get an eyebrow piercing. That'd be so hot.
Wait, no, you didn't.
And I was like, wait, it would be what? And she goes, that would be so hot. And I was like, hey, buddy, how much to get your eyebrow pierced? And he's like, like $25. And I was like, all right, cool, let's do it. And so I did it. Just because she said it'd be hot.
Mr. Davern.
So I just did it.
Do you feel like this is going to get you into trouble in the future?
No, I feel like it used to get me in a lot of trouble, but now I'm old. I'm a dad now. I'm fine, but
Are you?
Back in the day, I used to do stuff just because people would tell me to do it. Yeah, why not, dude? Look, you got one shot, okay? You got one chance at this thing. You might as well have some fun while you're here.
Yeah, kind of.
I know you don't believe that.
No,
you think you have multiple shots.
Yeah, reincarnation.
No,
But
no,
I agree.
I don't think that. So for me, I'm like, let's party, man.
I do agree with this, though.
Yeah.
That this situation is very unique and will never happen again. So whatever lifetime you have now,
Okay.
there is a uniqueness in that will never happen again.
Sure.
So you have to live it to the fullest.
Sure.
But that, for me, that doesn't mean let's go get everything pierced and let's get every tattoo in the world.
Look,
'cause
for me, it doesn't mean let's go shoot heroin either. You know, I mean, it's within reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't mean like you only got one chance. You might as well like do some free basing and some free jumping at the same
don't
time,
know.
or base jumping. What was I trying to?
free basing, free jumping.
Free basing and some base jumping. I mean, that's
Could you imagine?
By the way, that's the name of my autobiography: free basing and base jumping.
Dude, you're doing heroin and then jumping off a cliff. Like,
Insane.
I love adrenaline. How about you?
That sounds like a wild Saturday, man. That's crazy. So but look, like I said, within reason. I'm not gonna do something like ridiculous. But when it's something like cutting your hair or even doing the eyebrow piercing, which I did, it was actually funny because the guy said, yeah, it's $25 if you want to do it. I said, all right, fine, let's do this thing. And of course I look at the girl, I'm like, will you hold my hand? And she's like, of course I will. And I was like, oh, now I'm totally in. And so the guy, what he did was he took a Sharpie, and I did my left eyebrow here. I can still kind of feel where the hole was. And he took a Sharpie and they mark on the top side of your eyebrow and then like put a little dot, and then they put a little dot on the underside of your eyebrow, and then you go look in the mirror, and he's like, that's where the holes will be, you know? And they put it kind of wide, right? Because they want to be able to get enough skin in there or whatever.
Oh, okay, right.
So I went and looked in the mirror, and I came back to him, and I swear this is true. I swear on my children this is true. I walked up to him and I said, hey man, it's a little too wide. You got to try to keep the hole in the hair of the eyebrow because I'm going to be an actor, and I can't have that on camera. I swear, like, what a little punk. Like, it was my second day of acting school, but I'm just so confident that I'm going to be on TV or on film someday that I'm telling this guy this, which is silly and presumptuous, but whatever. It was where my head was at.
I don't think it's presumptuous.
Well-
Depending on how you said it.
I said it pretty much how I just said it just now. And
Yeah.
he goes, but the look on his face was like, all right, bud, like whatever, you know, because he's like this, like he's probably in his mid-30s, like tattoo artist in the Village in New York. He's tatted from, you know, head to toe, and he was just like, all right, sure, kid. And so then he moved it a little bit closer into the hairline, and he did it. And and then I met my wife in acting school. It wasn't the girls that went to the tattoo. She wasn't one of the girls who went to the tattoo parlor, but she met me with the eyebrow piercing, and I had the eyebrow piercing for a long time. Like,
But she still loved you?
yeah,
That's crazy.
I had the eyebrow piercing and this like little tiny little goatee like this. Like I had just the little chin whiskers for a long time and bleach blonde tips. I look like Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray.
How early 2000s of you, sir?
Totally, man. It was like 2000. This was like 2002, maybe.
Mr. Michael, since we're on the topic of hairstyles in the early 2000s, can we pull up some pictures of that? I'd love to reminisce, because I used to do this thing. This was late 90s, early 2000s. I would just spike up the front part.
Yep, me too.
And then I'd do this spray on bleach, and it
Yep.
would just be the front part bleach.
Just the front?
Just like a
So the back wasn't bleached?
Nope,
Wow.
just the front. The ones that are spiking up.
Right. I had the same haircut when I was in high school that you're describing, where you lay it down. Oh, look at that picture of DiCaprio right there. That was kind of my hair for a while.
You have that hair.
Yeah, I did that
You
for
have
a
that
while.
hair, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still. Look at that. Even with the spiky hair, he still looks amazing.
You know what though? Honestly, and I'm not trying to I'm not being braggadocious or anything or try to sound weird, but in that photo that we're looking at of DiCaprio there, you see the chin whiskers?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I had, and then I had the spiked hair like that, only my hair was bleached and I had an eyebrow piercing in my left eyebrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this right here, the part down the middle.
Oh, that
was me in elementary and middle school.
Yeah, that's what I look like
Yeah.
in junior high as well.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh yeah, man.
What were we thinking?
Well, you know, it's in style at the time, so it doesn't look out of place.
No, look
You
at
know, when you're walking around.
Justin. He looks like a chia pet.
Oh, Justin Timberlake, yeah. But now, Michael, though, type in Justin Timberlake "Man of the Woods," and that's the look I'm going for right now.
Oh.
Yeah,
That-
it
that's
was
what you have right
inspired
now.
by Justin. It's just Justin.
I saw him in Whole Foods
Did you?
last year.
Huh.
Didn't want to say anything, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's it.
See,
yeah.
that's the look
yeah.
I'm going with. That was what inspired the look now, you know?
Well, you're working out a lot more, too.
I'm working out a lot.
I saw your Instagram videos. You're going out at hard, which, by the way, we still have to go together.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm in. I'm working out hard. I don't know, man. I just feel like it's like a transitionary time, you know?
Yeah.
And you're trying to go from playing this sort of high school, early college man boy thing to playing to being maturing into what I actually am in real life, which is, you know, a 48-year-old get off my lawn father.
You're a little younger than that, in my opinion. But that is hard for a lot of actors, because what happens is casting has seen you as this certain age group and this certain type of character for so long, for years, literally years.
Yeah.
And then when your agents or reps or whoever is pitching you out there is like, oh no, he's actually in this new thing. They're like, no, he's not.
Right.
That's who we remember. It's like, no, look at his new shots, look at his new look. So it becomes like, okay, we've got a whole new person to pitch almost. Like he's transitioning.
He's transitioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means something completely different in 2019, but
Right.
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. I gotta tell you this. This haircut, which I didn't know that's what we were gonna talk about the whole time, but why not? Let's
No,
just keep
that's
going.
all we're talking about.
The haircut, I haven't really actually talked about this yet. This has only been an idea that's rolling around in my head, so bear with me. But with the haircut and I've had this now for about 3 or 4 weeks, I'd say. And what I'm noticing is people that I meet for the first time, so I've never met them before, but I'm now meeting them and I have this haircut. My first interactions with them is much different than when I used to meet people for the first time with the longer hair.
Yeah.
And it took me about 2 weeks to realize that their first impression of me or their initial thoughts or the way that we're interacting is different than how it used to be with people I'd meet for the first time. And I find myself laying into it now a little bit. And so if we're talking about that transition, it's not that I'm not going to hold the door open for people or say please and thank you like I always have. It's just that they sort of come at me a little bit more like I have more of an edge or something, and I find myself like leaning into it a little bit, and so I don't know. It's a weird thing to experience. I didn't expect that, Like I bet you I'm walking around today with a little bit of a different, I don't know the word, mindset, personality, demeanor than I was on day one of getting this haircut. Like I think I probably walked out of the barbershop and was the same, like just kind of like carrying myself the exact same way I was before the haircut. And now I think 4 weeks later I'm carrying myself a little bit differently. And I didn't expect that to happen. I don't know if this is making any sense at all.
No, it does.
But
I think you are leaning into that edge a lot because I saw you walking in here. There's an old man walking by you, and you like kicked him a little bit because he stared at you for too long.
Yeah, and then there was a kid down the street riding a skateboard. I shanked him.
That you're really leaning into this edgy look.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, buddy, I killed that guy. I killed that kid.
Good. Good.
Get off your skateboard, you punk. And then I shanked him.
Speaking
Shanked
of skateboard,
him? Shivved him? I don't know what it is.
my brother opens up his trunk yesterday and goes, "Hey, look at this skateboard I found." It drove me crazy.
Why did that drive you crazy?
Dude, he found a skateboard. Just putting a skateboard in his trunk car. What, like, what are you doing, man?
Why does that drive you crazy?
It just does, man.
What do you mean? Tell me what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
He found a skateboard on the street and was like, "I'm keeping it."
Yeah, we all understand that, though. Why is that a
That
thing?
doesn't sound crazy to you?
What? No.
Am I the only one?
What do you... But you're the only one because you're not explaining your position.
Dude, it's just a skateboard. Are you like Tony Hawk, William? No.
Well,
Put
maybe
it
he
away.
wants to try to skateboard.
He knows how to skateboard.
Okay. Well, then even more so that he should find a skateboard and want to enjoy himself.
Nah, it just annoys me.
I think it's funny how much more of an old get off my lawn man you are than I am.
Maybe.
You're out get off my lawning me.
Hey, William, put the skateboard away. Pay taxes.
What? Just because he has a skateboard doesn't mean he doesn't pay
Dude,
taxes.
and he had a beanie on, like, and it just drove me crazy.
Says the guy wearing a beanie.
Yeah, rules don't apply to me.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Drove me crazy, man.
Why?
It's ridiculous.
What? Okay. Wesam.
How are we on time, Peyton?
We got about 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Yeah, that's it.
6 minutes.
Now we take a 30-minute break.
I thought we used to talk on this show. What happened? Wait a second. What? Okay. I find that you're wound a bit too tight sometimes.
Sometimes. Like, this morning.
Jesus. Turn your radios down.
No, they need. Dude, listen to me. There was a
Some
guy.
poor bastard right now is in his Honda Civic that just blew out his speakers.
Dude, there was some guy. I was on my way here. He has his hand out the window, and his hand, there's a coffee cup, and he's driving like 40 miles per hour with his coffee out the window. Like, why are you doing that?
Maybe he's trying to cool it off.
Oh my God. Dude, that is the most ridiculous reason. Why are you doing that? Psycho.
What? Did he drop the cup?
No, but like what are you doing that? Like you have a cup of coffee, you're just hanging it out the window while you're driving? Like what's going through your mind?
Look, it is a weird move, and I hear you, but maybe he actually was trying to just cool it off.
Dude.
I mean, if you're smoking, you drive with your hand hanging out the window holding a cigarette.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I don't smoke either, but I'm just saying I see that.
Doesn't that blow it out? No?
Well, I mean, you kind of put your hand on the edge right by the window so that, right? I mean, I'm right about that, right?
Michael,
Yeah.
you're a big smoker. Do you do that?
Oh, yeah.
Michael's 2 packs of Marlboro Reds a day.
Dude, I see him out there right before the show.
Oh,
he's
he's
just like,
puffing.
he's getting ready.
They call him the chimney.
Chain smoking.
You should start calling him the chimney.
Dude, you know what? We still need to do. We're taking a group photo of like Wesam's World team, and we're trying to decide what kind of theme we're gonna have.
I think Michael should just be smoking.
dude,
Yeah.
like
him-
personas that don't match it with
Call
us.
him chimney, chimney,
Dude, I like the chimney though.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's
The
something about the
chimney.
chimney. It's like
You could
solid.
start DJing at clubs on the weekend. DJ
Dude,
Chimney.
chicks would love that.
Wow, you DJ.
Yeah. Oh
Dude,
my God.
oh,
yeah, man.
Dude, chicks would love that, dude. And you just go, hey, I'm Chimney. What?
One night only.
What?
DJ Chimney.
Dude, Niagara Falls. You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
We'll be right back. That saying that I just did earlier, rules don't apply to me. That's something I've said most of my life.
Rules don't apply to me.
Yeah, rules don't apply to me.
But am I crazy, or does it seem like you have a lot of rules?
Me?
Yeah.
Not really.
Like maybe rules don't apply to you, but you make a lot of rules.
Maybe other people's rules.
For yourself.
Other people's rules.
What do you mean?
It doesn't matter. It changes. So rules don't apply to me.
Every time I think I know you,
I've changed.
something happens and I go, I don't know you at all.
I think you're just getting to know me more and more.
Well, what I mean is you're saying rules don't apply to you, but you're trying to put a ton of rules on your brother because he picked up a skateboard.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, wait, what?
I'm not trying to put rules on him. I'm just reacting to what he chooses to do. And if that makes him feel a certain way to change his life for the better, awesome.
Hey, man.
By the way,
Whatever
I
you-
love my brother. For those of you who think like I hate him or I give him a hard time, dude, I love him. And by the way, my brothers and I, we give each other the hardest times, and it's good.
Hey,
we keep each other on our toes.
Whatever you need to say to help yourself sleep at night, man.
I need to help myself sleep at night. I sleep great. I sleep on a purple mattress. It's wonderful.
Purple?
Purple. It's a great mattress.
Oh, a company. It's the company? Or
Yeah.
it's colored purple.
It's the company name.
Oh, okay.
Part of it is colored purple, but it's.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Not just a random purple mattress.
I was like, sounds like you found that thing on the street too. Hey, speaking of finding things on the street, when I lived in New York, around the corner from our apartment, we lived on West 83rd Street in Manhattan, and around the corner there was like well, I guess it was just like a thrift store basically, but they had a lot of furniture, and so people would, people drop off a desk or a dining room set or a couch or whatever to this thrift store, like when you're getting rid of stuff or whatever. And we were on the Upper West Side, so there was a lot of like rich people lived up there. So a lot of this furniture, even though it was a thrift store or a second-hand store, there'd be like nice stuff, right? But every once in a while, they'd get too full inside the store, and especially in the spring and the summer, they would take some of the furniture that wasn't selling and just put it out on the sidewalk to either be thrown away
Okay.
or whatever. And you'd be walking by, or if it was at night, you could just go grab that shit because they didn't want it anymore. And it was legitimately, it wasn't stealing. Like I talked to the people about it. They're like, yeah, we're getting rid of that stuff. So when I was living in New York, like our whole apartment was furnished with stuff we just like found on the street.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you felt okay with that?
Yeah, I mean,
Like in terms of like
yeah,
the
totally.
cleanliness of whatever.
Yeah, you take it up there and like wash you take the fabric off the couch cushions and wash it and stuff. I mean, you can clean everything up. But I have a funny picture. When I lived in New York,
Sorry. Do you guys hear that?
Sorry, I was looking up the current events.
Oh, okay. And
I thought I muted it on here.
oh, it's all good. It's all good. I was like, I heard somebody go, "Wow," and I was like, "That's not right."
is
Anyway,
it weird that I didn't hear it?
No, I heard it too.
I didn't hear it.
Your hearing is a little.
Well, the thing is, I put it on mute on the Mac thing over here, and it just
That's weird. Anyway, sorry.
anyway.
Well, when I lived in New York, it was before social media or anything. So a lot of the photos I have from that time, or like pictures of me with the eyebrow ring and the bleached hair and all that, they don't exist on a computer because we took them with a disposable camera and printed them all out. You know what I mean? But I have a good photo at home of me and like 4 buddies, because our apartment was a 5-flight walk up in New York City, and those staircases are pretty tight. And I have a picture of us pulling a full-size sleep-away couch up these stairs. Like, I still don't even know how we got that thing all the way up the stairs. We were like
How many flights?
5 flights.
What?
But it's 2 sets of stairs per flight. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like it switches back upon itself.
Jeez.
So I remember us trying to figure out how we're going to get this couch up there. And what we would do is lift it end over end. So we basically rolled it, if you can visualize that, up all the way up. But it's had the bed inside of it. Those things are heavy as hell.
Yeah.
Speaking of things I'd never do again.
Dude,
Boy.
my brother just moved into his apartment. He's starting dental school, and he was asking me some advice on couches and furniture. I'm like, listen, get something you can move easily.
Yeah,
because you're not going to be there forever,
Right.
for a long time.
Right.
So just, I'm telling you, to make your life
Wait,
easier.
wasn't he living with you?
My youngest brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to dental school.
Oh, I see.
My other brother, yeah, we live together.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, he's like, oh yeah, that's actually a good point. And I told him, hey, rent the washer and dryer from the apartment company, even though in the long run you might pay like a few $100 extra. But
Oh, you mean the in-unit thing?
the in-unit,
Yeah,
because
you want that.
if you have to buy one, you have to get it delivered, or you put it in yourself, and then when you're moving out, you have to sell that thing.
Oh yeah.
So-
it's a nightmare. And
Yeah.
to everyone listening, if you're apartment hunting out there, little tip: if you can swing it, get the place with the washer dryer
Yes.
in the unit, because my God, all those years that I had to spend going down to that laundry room, and then all the machines are full, and then you find one that's not, and then someone will move your stuff, and you lose your thongs, and I mean, it's just what a pain in the butt.
Dude, you want to see me angry? Can you imagine this happening to you? Your stuff is in the washer.
Right.
Somebody literally, while it's still washing, they pull your wet clothes out.
I know.
And they start washing theirs.
Oh, I know. That used to happen all the time.
that would be. I think there should be a law. It's okay to murder that person. For real. I'm not exaggerating. That should be a law.
Look, I don't literally agree with you, but I figuratively agree with you.
I do. Drown them.
Oh my God. In the washer machine.
In the Dude, that's the law. I'm running for city council.
Do you remember when he didn't realize that he had rules that he wanted to make and stuff? Like, he's the guy who's like, I don't
Dude,
live by the rules,
when I'm
man.
emperor, things are gonna change. Quiche Davern 2020
No,
coming at you.
No, leave me off that ticket.
You don't want to be on my council?
I'm sorry, I'm not for murder.
You want to be the czar of radio shows?
Look, I know this is crazy, but I'm gonna come out against murder, if that's all right with you.
Dude, imagine this.
Yeah.
Your wife is doing laundry, right? For your children.
Yeah.
And in the middle of that wash cycle, somebody comes in, takes the wet clothes out, and puts in their clothes.
Right. I don't have to
They
admit.
basically spit in your wife's face.
I don't have to imagine that because I'm rich and I have a house with a washer and dryer.
Okay.
But if I was a poor person, I could maybe envision what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding, everybody.
Dude.
I used to, dude. I
know.
Can I tell you about in New York though? The
Yeah.
greatest thing ever is that most apartment buildings that people live in. I mean, look, if you're like rich, fancy, like these, amazing modern buildings, you probably have washer, dryer, and blah 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 and all that. But most of the buildings that I lived in when I lived in New York are these like old pre-war buildings, 5-flight walk-ups. They don't even have laundry rooms, most of them. And so it's all laundromats and things like that. And of course, in New York City, everything you need is within 2 blocks of your apartment, which is the greatest thing about that city. So there's always a laundromat right there. Now, you could go sit there and do your own laundry, or you could do what most people in New York do and should do, which is just have that shit sent out. And it's amazing. You talking about spending like, you said like about your brother, you spend like a couple extra dollars a month, but it's worth it. Because here's the thing. Your time, everybody, is worth something. That old saying, time is money, nothing could be more true.
100%.
So unless you're going to take your laptop and stuff and get a bunch of work done while you're waiting for your clothes to whatever and you can work out that system, like fine, right? But if you've got a job and all those things, just drop your laundry off at the laundromat. You pick it up later that day. It's all folded. It's all pressed. It's all perfect. And costs, just a few extra bucks, and it's the greatest. I miss those days.
If you can afford it, I highly, highly agree with you.
Oh, man. It's the greatest.
Mr. Michael. Man, can I just say this?
No, he's the chimney.
That's right, chimney. Oh, no, do you like chimney or the chimney, sir?
The chimney.
The
chimney.
Yeah, you got to put the.
The chimney, and Peyton will find out something for you, nickname-wise. The Griffin, just because your last name is close to Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
The chimney and the Griffin.
The chimney and the Griffin. That's their comedy duo. Their improv troupe.
Dude,
Fret.
powerful powerful names.
The Chimney and the Griffin.
The Chimney and the
It's like
Griffin.
Flight of the Conchords or something.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I love it.
I'm over caffeinated. I think I'm pumped up from all this Emperor talk and everything. But love you guys. That's all I wanted to say. The Chimney. What do we got for current events?
Wow, there was an explosion at an Illinois silicone plant that kills 1 and leaves 2 missing in my hometown, actually.
Oh my
Kills
God.
1 and leaves 2 missing.
A chemical explosion?
Yeah.
Jeez. Have you ever seen those on TV? Or like on YouTube?
No.
They are frightening to watch. You know what? I don't care. We're going to show it. Oh, no, we'll get pulled off. Man, we can't show it. I'll show you at the break. If you play any kind of YouTube video, even on that screen, we get pulled off.
Really?
Yeah, for copyright infringement.
Man, remember when YouTube was cool, man? And they were like down with the people. Now they're they're just a corporate shill.
It's
Fuck
too
you,
much.
YouTube.
It's
You
too
hear
much.
me? Fuck you, YouTube.
It's way
You hear that?
too much.
Hey, algorithm. Fuck you.
You know which algorithm I hate? The
Oh, you know what?
Instagrams.
Now you can't monetize this. I just profanity. They'd be upset.
We can't monetize it anyway.
Oh, really? Why?
Now we don't have 1,000 subscribers.
Oh,
4,000
yeah.
hours of
All
watch
right,
time.
good. Then fuck you, YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, you know what? I don't care. Let's play the video. It's just look up any kind of like huge chemical fire.
Dude, hold on. I need to follow you around in life and remind you that you live by I don't live by the rules credo, because you just almost didn't play the YouTube thing because that's their rules.
Yeah, but I want people to see this video.
Yeah,
Because
but
people want to see this video.
You claim to not live by anyone's rules.
Yeah.
All right. Fine.
Dude, Book of 5 Rings, Musashi, okay? Be everywhere and nowhere.
What? What's he talking about?
Brother. Dude, I'm telling you. I'm nuts.
That's what Tom Hardy says when he walks into every audition.
Dude.
Hey, dude, I'm nuts.
What a power move that would be. You're in a
yeah.
producer session. After you're done,
Yeah.
and guys, they're giving you notes. You go,
Yeah.
whoa. Guys.
No, you don't understand.
I'm nuts.
I'm crazy.
And you just walk out.
Walk out.
Hired. Did you find one, Michael?
I found one. Let's see if this works.
All right. I'm going to switch headsets real quick. Oh, these are the...
Exciting times.
I think these are the sucking ones. Yeah, these are sucking ones.
What is happening right now?
It's a cell phone video, and someone who apparently doesn't know how to shoot.
Let's see it.
They do it vertical.
Oh, yeah. This one's pretty big.
Oh, wait,
Whoa.
I gotta unmute this.
Whoa.
I mean,
Look at that thing.
that's already a big fire. I think we all agree.
Wow.
That's taken up most of the building. And what do you guys say? An acre? That's probably an acre fire right there.
Oh man, that thing's crazy. That's one they just have to let burn out. You can't.
There's nothing you can
There's
do.
nothing you can do about that. Wow. Ugh.
Oh my God!
Oh.
Dad, you okay? I can't hear. I can't hear. Get out of here, please.
Oh.
Whoa,
my-
that got
okay.
crazy.
By the way, the little kid made that way too real. Hey, most emotionally. Did you hear that?
Oh.
Dude.
Okay, like for
Can-
for people who are only listening on the podcast or like audio wise, that there was a guy. Okay, he was shooting a video of a building on fire, and that guy was probably
100 yards? 200?
more.
200 yards. I would say 200, 250 yards.
250,
Let's go
maybe
back.
even 500.
Here's-
It was a
here's
ways
This
away.
might be the same one, but here's
And that thing
another one.
exploded, and the kid said, "Dad, I can't hear," and they
Yeah,
were a
that's-
long way.
Yeah, that's about two. Yeah, I would say 200.
300 yards. I mean, it's a ways. Wow.
I mean-
angle or a different.
Different
It's a
angle.
different angle.
video. I think it might be of the same fire.
Looks like the same fire. Wow.
Okay.
About 200
That's-
feet from the explosion.
He says 200
playing
feet.
basketball.
Oh man, that's nuts, dude. You know what though?
Well, I hope. I mean, I'm assuming they got it under control.
I think so. There's still 2 missing though. So
You know
Jeez,
what
man.
though?
That's horrible.
You
That's
know-
so sad.
You know what though?
if you were just standing there filming that with your cell phone, and like not taking shelter because you wanted to get a sick video for your Insta, and that hurt your ears, good.
Oh wow, it's across.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
just you're getting it just for the popularity.
Yes, what I'm saying. Like with society now, like everyone sees something happening and they go, "Hold on, let me stand here and film it," and then sometimes it can lead to them getting hurt. And I just go, "Well, you should have gone and found some cover then instead of filming it for your IG." You know what I mean?
I hate that whenever people are fighting, like there's two dudes fighting.
I know, and people just stand there filming it.
You don't realize how easily it is for someone to get knocked out in a fight, and smash their head on a curb, and then it's all over.
Or whatever, or someone in the crowd watching is gonna pull out a gun or something, and you're just standing there filming, and then the next thing you know, you're an innocent bystander, and you should have been running the other way. I don't know. I just think it's. I don't ever have the impulse to pull out my phone in any situation, really. Yeah. Like even at like, dude, I can go to Disneyland with the kids for a whole day and come back with no photos of it. Honestly, because I just don't have the. It's not that I don't want to take photos or anything. I just don't have the impulse. I more like just live in the moment. For instance, last night I was watching NBA playoff basketball, right? The game went to 4 overtimes. 4 overtimes. That like never happens, okay? And a player, I don't remember which overtime it was in, but one of the players was like shooting free throws to tie the game up or to extend it or to even win the game. And when they cut to the crowd, full-grown mid-40s-year-old men are standing there holding their cell phones, filming the guy shooting free throws. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing that you could be seeing. And also, by the way, I'm watching on ESPN. You don't need to film, sir.
Right.
There's, it's being captured by professionals. Put your phone away and experience the moment, Because, dude, even if you send that video to your best buddy, right? Your best buddy's going to go, yeah, don't worry about it. I caught the highlights on SportsCenter. You know what I mean? Who are you sharing that video with? And what I'm saying is I never have that impulse. I just stand there and watch the thing happen.
Yeah.
How else are you going to prove that you were there?
Right.
That's good.
No,
that's
I know.
That's
that's what they're thinking. But or they're just thinking everyone else around me is doing it, so I might as well do it too. I don't know, man. It's a weird.
I'm with you.
Like at concerts, everything. You ever try to watch those concert videos back that your friends take? It sounds like crap. It's blurry. It's too far away.
Yeah.
It's not interesting. Put your cell phones away.
The one thing that drives me crazy is fireworks photos or videos.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey, you know what?
It's so funny.
Never seen a fireworks video that I was like, hey, great job capturing that.
It's so interesting to me. Now, have you been to recently any like big stand-up comedy? Not just like at a little club, but like I for instance, I went and saw Chris Rock a year ago.
Oh, in a theater.
Like I mean, like you're seeing someone big.
Chris D'Elia.
Okay. Now, I don't know what they did when you went and saw D'Elia, but when I went and saw Chris Rock, I saw Chris Rock about a year and a half ago in Atlanta at the Fox Theater downtown. And I just thought, like, I just caught wind that he was in town, and I jumped on the website real quick, and I was like, I think I can get tickets. And I got tickets. They were like $100 a piece, but I was like, this guy's a legend, right? Like, when am I going to get the chance? And so I was like, I'm going to go see Chris Rock. So I went with some friends, and we went to the theater, and they take your cell phone from you, and they put it in a little pouch that they seal shut, and then you can put it back in your pocket. So you keep your cell phone on you, but now it's in this pouch that is like soundproof, and they unlock it by scanning it when you leave the theater, and then you take your cell phone out, you hand them back the pouch, and you go on your way. But the thing about it is that while you're in there, in the theater, watching Chris Rock, everyone is engaged in the things that he's saying, and that everything that he had maybe like 4 or 5 openers as well, who are like, smaller comedians, but everyone's actually listening and paying attention, and the laughs are bigger, and the sense of community in the room is bigger, and the experience is now heightened because everyone's actually paying attention. And I loved it. And I thought, oh my God, I want to take these little pouches everywhere I go. Like, I want to put those pouches by my front door. And when people come over to hang out, I'm like, can I have your cell phone, please? Let's go ahead and put it in there. Because now we're going to actually sit in the backyard and be really engaged with each other. Much how we are right now. We haven't pulled out our cell phones doing this whole thing. And it makes for better conversation. Did they do the same thing at D'Elia's show?
They didn't have pouches, but it's a strict no cell phone policy
Okay.
for a couple of reasons. A, I think it's also to have you be engaged. You're there to see him.
Right.
And if you want to take pictures, I think they have a thing afterwards where it's like, hey, you either pay like you have in one of those extra tickets, or you can wait outside,
Right.
and that's where you get your picture and everything.
Right.
But the second thing is also, hey man, this is material he's worked on and that he's going to film for a special.
Yeah, they don't want it to come out.
They don't want it to come out.
That's
simple
true
as
too.
that.
But I do think that part of it is
it's both reasons.
I want to think that like Chris Rock's sitting there going like, and also it will make people listen. Which
Yeah, of
is
course.
great. And I like it. And it was funny because sitting there waiting for the show to start, this woman in front of us who we weren't with or anything, she was like, she engaged us in conversation. You're like waiting for the show to start. And so we started talking with her, and she was freaking out about the cell phone pouch thing because she was like, my kids are with a babysitter and my husband and I are out tonight and I can't believe they're making us do this. Like, she was upset about it. And I was just kind of sitting there like, it's okay. Like, it's only going to be an hour to an hour and a half of your time. Like, you'll be, I said to her, I was like, are your kids sick? Are they like, is there going to be she's like, no, it's just that what if the babysitter needs to, I'm like, we all used to live like this.
That
It's okay.
That drives me up a wall.
Yeah.
I was at a coffee shop, the Sunday coffee shop, Cafe Dulce, which I go with to practice doing my acting class with my friend Isaiah, and I overheard this lady. She was making her husband get the drinks. She was just wearing. When you look at somebody, and listen, I'm all about not judging people, and don't judge a book by its cover and stuff, but I think after a certain amount of life living, life experience, you kind of look at somebody. You're like, I have an idea of what.
Well,
Your personality is
everyone
like.
tries to. You can be a judge of character. That's okay.
Fair.
You've had life experience.
She was making her husband, like, while she was sitting down, she was wearing this really ill-fitting tracksuit, I guess I should say.
Okay.
That, on the butt it said something like bootylicious or something, one of those in bedazzled, sparkled letters. And then the employee behind the counter was like, oh, I'm so sorry, we don't offer this drink in like ceramic cups. We only offer it in our paper cups. I'm sorry. And she goes, she heard it across, and from across the business establishment, she goes, that's disappointing. And I felt like, I was like, who are you? That's disappointing?
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Right.
Dude, the same lady who was like, how am I going to get a hold of my child? I feel like she was more like she just wants to use her phone.
Well, it's the sense of loss that she was feeling because she's so used to the comfort of having this thing all the time. Like, okay, you just went to Japan with your buds,
Yeah.
right? I take trips with friends and family and stuff all the time, and I remember, I mean, what I'm about to say makes more sense than the cell phone, but you'll see what I mean. So, like, I went to Europe with my brother, and my brother still lives back up in Seattle and everything, and we're close, and we love hanging out, but because he lives in Seattle and because I live here, we don't get a chance to really hang out, like, one-on-one like we used to all the time, Like, even if you go up there for Christmas or something, family's always around, or if he comes down here, like, family's always around. So there's never, like, one-on-one bro time, you know what I mean? So we went to Europe a couple of years ago together, just the two of us, right? And we went for, like, 10 or 11 days. So it's just the two of us palling around and having a blast and all that stuff. And when we flew back to the United States, we flew back and we landed in like New York or something like that. And then from there, he was going to fly back to Seattle and I was going to fly back to LA. So that's where we split off from each other after being together one-on-one for all these days, right? And I found, we're like, all right, man, good trip, good to see you, hug. He goes up one escalator, I go down the other. And about halfway down the escalator, I just felt this profound sense of loss of like, oh, like, where'd he go? Like this, like, where's my comfort blanket? You know what I mean? And I think it's the lady was feeling the same thing about her cell phone because it's like you get used to something being there all the time, and then you just go like, oh, what? But what I'm saying is that's ridiculous because I was feeling it about a person. She's feeling it about her cell phone. But I think if I can empathize at all, I think that's what it was. For
Okay,
instance,
so it wasn't a sense of entitlement then.
I don't think so. I
Okay,
think it was
all
just
right.
her like not knowing how to deal. And
Right,
also,
okay.
this is the thing, man. And I've said this about myself before. Like, dude, have you ever? I do this, and I hate myself for it. But I like, there's like 3 minutes where I'm waiting between ordering the coffee and getting the coffee, and I stand there in Starbucks, pretend scrolling through my phone. Like an idiot, and halfway through I catch myself going, what am I doing? Why can't I just stand here for 3 minutes doing nothing?
Yeah.
And so maybe that was her thing too, is like, you ever see like a cat when you put tinfoil on its pads and it walks around like all weird because it's discombobulated? I feel like that's almost what she was experiencing, and what I experience when I just try to stand somewhere without using that device for 3 minutes.
For sure. For
See,
sure.
you're a meditator. I'm not.
Yeah, and that's not to say it's still not difficult for me to do that. I think what plays into that, yes, the meditation helps because it brings about a certain amount of awareness for the person. And you have to have some kind of awareness, otherwise you don't even know that there's a problem.
Do you find yourself pulling out your cell phone in situations where you could have just stood there for 30 seconds?
Yeah, but then I find myself whenever I'm like, why do I have that urge to pull out my cell phone? You know what? No. I'm going to have the urge now to find an urge not to pull out my cell phone and experience the world around me.
Right.
Because in my mind, I make it like it will help my acting because, oh, cool, I might miss a certain character or I might miss somebody doing something weird. Also, another reason why I don't always have my cell phone out is safety reasons. I'm one of those people who walk into a room and be like, okay, I need to have my back to the wall because I want to see who's coming into the establishment.
You're like Jason Bourne?
A little bit, yeah.
Why?
It makes me feel better.
Okay.
I don't like sitting right behind. I don't like sitting in a place where the door is literally behind me and I can't see who's coming in and out. It makes me feel. I'm always like, who's that? Who is that?
I feel like I was watching this woman before the Chris Rock show, and she was a cat that had tinfoil on her paws, and she just didn't know how to deal with it because there was, 15 minutes before the show started, her husband went to go get a drink at the bar or get them drinks at the bar or whatever, and she found herself alone with no cell phone, surrounded by strangers, and did not know how to deal with it. And so how she dealt with it was by turning around and going, this cell phone thing is ridiculous, right? And that's what, and it was like, we were all sitting there like, no, it's kind of nice actually to just talk to each other.
Yeah. I wonder if depression was more before the age of the internet and the age of the cell phones, or if it became more prevalent, or it was evolved into something a lot maybe stronger.
I think
after
it would be hard to quantify that because I think back in the day, the urge or the openness to go see a therapist or to admit that you have an issue or even depression being a term kind of wasn't a thing. So I don't know if they were really tracking it. You know what I mean? I think it'd be almost impossible to really figure out if depression's higher or lower. I mean, I'm sure they can, but it's all sort of anecdotal maybe.
Yeah, that's actually a
Maybe
good
I'm
point.
just an idiot.
No. What I'm always amazed at the the Victorian era.
Sure.
Where people especially the rich upper class would be like, oh, we're expecting visitors tomorrow. Let's make sure we have the house right.
Right.
Or, you know what, let's take a picnic in the countryside and just enjoy the country for the day. Let's walk around for a few hours. People don't do that nowadays.
Well,
Very rarely.
my cell phone policy. I don't know if I've talked about it on this show, but I've talked about it on our morning show a lot. I go in waves where I'm really good at it, and then waves where I'm not so good at it. But I try to put my cell phone down in the evening, and I put on the do not disturb, I'm driving mode or whatever.
Great, that's good.
Because it sends a bounce back text if people try to text me. So you can customize what it sends back. So I put my phone on that mode, I put the phone on the nightstand, and then I leave it until the next morning. I don't touch it again until the next morning. And if someone texts me, they get an automatic bounce back text that says hey, I put my phone down for the evening, I'll get back with you in the morning. If it's an emergency, call me or whatever.
Oh,
right?
that's actually pretty smart.
But I like doing it, and I find when I do it and when I'm consistent doing it, my mood actually improves and my shoulders relax and I'm not so tight and tense all the time.
Yeah.
I find when my cell phone's on me in the evening around the house that I'm all pent up and I'm answering emails and doing all these things that I don't even really need to be doing. Nothing is actually an emergency. The first night I did this and I put it down for the evening, I realized how much none of those emails and texts need to be dealt with, and they're not emergencies at all. Everything can wait till the next morning.
That's actually a really good idea for everybody to to do. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with some more current events and some more great discussions with Mr. Davern. All right.
Can I finish what I was saying though about the cell phone
Yeah,
thing?
please.
Because I feel like if I haven't, especially if I haven't talked about it on this show, which I can't remember if I have or not. I don't think I have, right? You would know. I don't think I have.
I don't think so.
The way to do it is you put on your like do not disturb while I'm driving thing. You customize the bounce back text that it sends back to people when they text you. And so you say like my cell phone's down for the evening, I'll get back to you in the morning. Now, the thing is though, is that you can say if it's an emergency, call me. Because if they call your phone your cell phone will not ring, okay? So that won't work if it's an emergency, right? But here's what I figured out. You can buy on Amazon or at Costco or anything. There's these companies now, Panasonic, Sony, whatever, all the normal companies are making phones like an actual, it's a landline telephone. You could plug it into a landline if you want, but it Bluetooths to your cell phone the second you walk into your house. So if you're within range of the handset, which your apartment or your house would be in range, it just automatically, so every time I walk in my front door, my cell phone Bluetooths to this like cordless telephone that's sitting in the kitchen, right? And what happens is, because I do the do not disturb, when someone calls my cell phone, yes, my cell phone won't ring, but that new house phone does ring. Oh. So I'm sitting in my house anyway, so if it's an emergency, call me. That thing rings, and I pick it up, and I can have a conversation all day long. It's just that I no longer get your text messages or emails or whatever until the morning. And like I said, nothing's an emergency anyway, so don't worry about it.
So if anybody calls, if
anyone calls, the house phone rings. And these things are like, it's like $40 or less on Amazon, and boom, there you go. And you save your, like, dude, do you know how great it is watching TV or a movie in the evening without your cell phone in your pocket? It feels effing weird the first few times because they go to commercial break and you pat your pocket like you want to pull out your phone and scroll through Twitter. But after 3 or 4 days of doing it, you actually start watching the show better and paying attention. And
just put your phone on Do Not Disturb, or just turn it back to normal then.
What do you mean?
If it's going to go straight to the house phone.
And just put the phone in the other room, you mean?
Or turn your phone off, Do Not Disturb.
Why?
Because why are you getting a separate thing?
What do you mean?
If somebody's trying to get a hold of you and it's emergency,
yeah,
you have this other thing now, like an unnecessary phone.
Well, yeah, because the phone's in the bedroom. How am I going to hear it ring or whatever if I'm upstairs?
Oh, okay.
Didn't I not say I'm rich? Wesam, I have a giant estate.
You have 2 floors?
Yes.
Oh my God, he's made it.
Wesam, I'm rich. Don't you listen to me?
Dude, you're talking to prime time. All right?
See, the reason though, but here's the other reason that you can't just leave your phone on and put it in the other room, because if I'm Peyton or whatever and I want to not be disturbed for the evening, I put my phone on my nightstand, but it's still on. You're gonna hear the text messages go off, and you're gonna run and try to check it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why.
Okay, all right.
You got to know that you're not that good.
I have self-control.
I don't know, man. In all my 49 years on this planet, what I've learned is that human beings are not that good.
Well,
You think you're that good?
Yeah.
You're not that good.
Well, rules don't apply to me. So,
except we've kind of found out they do. And you love to make rules for everyone else.
Yeah, I'm emperor.
Yeah.
Or I want to be emperor.
Okay.
I'm going to be emperor.
Emperor. Oh my God.
What's next on current events, Michael?
Florida legislature approves bill requiring former felons to pay fines and fees before voting.
Oh, that's interesting. What? Any kind of felony? I'm assuming.
Any kind of felony. So back in November, the people of Florida voted overwhelmingly, with over 60% of the vote, to allow felons who have served their time. Allow them to register to vote and to vote in elections.
Oh, great.
Brett, how do you feel about this? You seem to have.
I'm pissed off. It's another voter suppression.
They're calling it a poll tax.
Yeah, it's complete BS.
Yeah.
I mean, that's complete crap. The voters have decided that if you are convicted of a felony, but you go serve your time, as Michael said, that when you get out, you can register to vote. Which, by the way, it's insane that you can't. That's insane. just because you committed a felony means I don't have a brain and I can't decide who my elected officials should be? What kind of crap is that? Like, I can't vote for the people who are making the laws that send me away in the first place? That seems a bit insane. So that's insane right off the bat. But then, so the voters say, no, we want to change that. We want to let people, if they've served their time and if they've, what's the term I'm looking for? If they've like paid their debt to society, right? That they are then allowed to assimilate back into the stream with all the other fish, and we can all continue on our way. The voters, that's what the voters said. But now the politicians come behind it and they go, well, let's make them pay a fee first. And you know exactly what that is, man, because you get out of jail and you're a convicted felon and it's hard for you to find a job and you're not gonna be able to afford to pay that fee. And so it's a way of keeping them still not voting. That's BS.
I have a question for you then.
Yeah.
What if
I'll have an
is
answer,
it
trust me.
for all felonies? If it's like for rapists, for serial killers, do you think they should be allowed to vote as well?
Absolutely. If you go and pay your debt,
Interesting.
absolutely. I think so.
Certain candidates are even proposing that those that are in prison should be allowed to vote.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because a lot of times these criminals are in jails that are put into areas, but they're counted towards the numbers for the census for that district, which basically it gives them more power because they have more people,
Even though they're inmates.
and they can't vote.
It's all this backwards
I think
stuff,
I think
man.
for 90, honestly, and this is just a number I'm throwing. I think for 90% of inmates, definitely should be given the right to vote, and I wouldn't even mind that from prison. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, me neither.
But I don't know. I feel like some crimes are so heinous and so base that it's like, you know what? You're actually not part of the team anymore.
I hear you on that. I'm with you to a certain extent. I will stand by what I was saying though, because I'm not sure where I'm coming down on what the issue that you're raising right now. But when it comes to people who, you know, they do that thing, they're found guilty, they've done something wrong, they go to jail, they go to prison, they serve their time, they come out on the other side. I feel like if we're not letting them reintegrate themselves back into society fully,
I agree with
then
you on that.
What was the
Yeah.
point of sending them away and letting them out in the first place?
Yes, I agree with you
So-
on that portion for sure, 100%. I think that applies to, like, you know, again, I'm throwing out a number, 95% of, you know, of these cases. I agree with you 100%.
I do think-
it's just for the few. There's and again, it's just a handful of things
Yeah.
where, again, as being on a law show, I've learned a lot of things aren't so black and white.
Totally.
They are shades of gray
Of
to
course.
everything.
Of course.
So that's why I'm just like, I'm picking out certain crimes. I feel like, again, so heinous. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, you're not part of Team Human anymore. So
No,
I don't give a shit if you vote.
I hear
honestly.
you. I hear you. The reason I hesitate is just because there's something feels weird to me. And look, everybody, this is just my opinion, and I'm thinking about it in the moment. But something feels weird to me about, like, even someone who's maybe serving life in prison, let's say, and that, of course, it would be someone who probably did something pretty bad or was at least convicted of doing something pretty bad. But the thing is even if they're going to be in prison for life, what you're saying by not allowing them to vote is you're saying, look, you are not allowed to cast your vote for people who are making policies that then affect your life. So in other words, like, if you're in prison,
Well, yeah, of course. I'm sorry. Like, if the guy fucking murders people, and like this guy, this serial killer, I'll give you an example. You know what he would do, man? He would gain the women's trust, be as a handyman, as their neighbor, and
No,
then
look,
fucking murder them.
look,
Hey, you know
Wesam.
what? I don't give a shit.
We say
again,
it's awful. It's awful. I totally understand you. But let's say 25 years have gone by and that person's completely rehabilitated, changed their ways, blah, 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 blah. You're saying you're not allowed to vote for the representative who decides whether the death penalty is still in play or not.
Nope.
I mean, I don't know, man. That person's still a human, I think, at the end of the day. And I think that, like, I mean, look, unless you're just going to take them out behind the prison and you know, pop him right when he gets there. But I mean, if someone's been there for, you got these people that have been there for like 30, 40 years. They're not the same 19-year-old as when they went in.
Absolutely, and I'm all about forgiveness. But again, what about the families who've lost their sister, their mother,
but
their
we
wife?
have a system for a reason, And if the system, like you said, like you're playing this on TV, like the system is as good as we can get it to be, and it's the one that we have, and so you have to sort of like, you kind of just have to play by those rules, don't you?
Kind of. I think there are opportunities to change those rules. Listen, again.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to have a say in that.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, if you rape kids, I'm sorry. I don't give a shit if you vote.
Look, of course, and I don't either.
I'm sorry, forever? Listen, I don't give a fuck if you vote. If you've killed my daughter, okay? If you've killed her in like that kind of heinous way, dude, I don't care if you eat shit for the rest of your life.
But didn't you say it's all about forgiveness? It's sort of a weird. What do you mean?
Forgiveness for certain things.
Okay.
On let's say. Okay, drunk driving.
Yeah.
I'm going a little bit lower. I think we can all agree on the
Sure.
heinous scale. Young 20s
Right.
dude, drunk drives, God forbid, accidentally kills one of my family members.
Right.
In the moment, I'm going to be furious, right?
Sure.
And upset and depressed and sad and all the emotions. Maybe years go by, right? He served his time. He seems very sorry for it. I'm not going to hold a grudge. Mm-hmm. There's forgiveness.
I think the thing.
Do I want that person to vote? Yes.
Okay. Well, but the issue is like now what we're saying is that you have to then look at each individual case, which is just never going to happen. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of, how many people get convicted of a felony per year in the United States? I mean, you're not able to parse out each case and say, well, this person was convicted of this person was convicted of this, so this person can then vote in the future, but this person then can't. I mean, that'd be insane.
But we can narrow it down. It's not to every single case, but at the same time, I mean, we can kind of group them into certain groups.
Let's be honest, man. Like, this is all about race. Let's just be honest. I mean,
I'm not talking about race.
No,
Listen,
I'm talking about not you. I'm talking about the law.
To steer back to this.
I'm
specific
steering it back to
law.
the law in Florida. Like minorities, and we know what we're talking about here, are convicted and incarcerated at a much higher rate than other sections of society. And what this is and by the way, there is one political party, and I don't care anymore. You can at me. I don't give a shit. There's one political party who's really scared that those minority groups will get to vote because they usually vote the other way. And that party is like, oh my God, if all these people have the chance to vote all of a sudden, we ain't ever going to win anymore. So we've got to keep them from voting. That's why it's a suppression thing. It's like, we'll put a tax on it because we know that most of the time they might not be able to afford that tax, thus they won't be able to vote, and thus elections will still be more 50-50 because, man, if it goes the other way, they're never going to win again, man.
The way that it worked
Yeah.
in Florida before is that every individual had to go in front of a panel that included the governor of Florida.
Oh.
And basically plead their case. And there was this one guy that...
In order to get a vote again?
In order to be able to register to vote and to be
Wow.
able to vote again. So it's basically he had to go before a panel, a 3-person panel, including the governor, which was Rick Scott. And
Who's a Republican.
John Oliver did a piece on it, but basically this guy would be like, he changed his life, turned his life around, did all the things that he's supposed to do. And it basically, Rick Scott's just like, nope, denied.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I look, that sounds like my panel that I want to convene because I want to kick like 4 or 5 million people out of LA just to alleviate traffic.
I'm fine with that. I've been talking about depopulation for a while.
This is the platform I'm running on.
Are you
Thanos?
Thanos?
I was thinking the same thing.
Elect me mayor. I will throw out 8 million people, and thus we can get to work in under an hour and a half. That's my platform.
Dude.
And in order to decide whether you get to stay or not, you have to come in front of my panel, and I ask you basically like 3 questions.
I love this idea.
I've got 3 questions.
What are the questions?
How do you order your steak at a restaurant?
Mm-hmm.
How would you like it prepared? Does ketchup ever belong on a hot dog? And what is your favorite fruit? That's it. I will know what kind of person you are from those 3 questions. You don't have to, by the way, you don't have to get all 3 questions right. You know what I mean? You could say you order your steak well done and you put ketchup on, but your favorite fruit is apple, and I might say, well, okay, fine, you can stay. You know what I mean? It's not like you got to go 3 for 3. I'm sorry. We were getting too heavy. I had to try to lighten it up a little.
Dude, that's the show, baby.
That's a show, man.
That's the show.
That's
okay?
a show, dude. I don't like. I hate bullies, man. No, listen to me. We're swearing, right? We're all
No,
swearing.
you can't. No, I'm kidding.
I
Yeah.
fucking hate bullies. I've hated bullies my whole life. I have a younger brother. I stand up for him. You know what I mean? I hate bullies. And what this thing is that like Michael's describing, or these things that are happening, is it's just bullies.
Yeah.
It's just bullies going, you know what? You've done this wrong in your life, or you're from this segment of society. We have control over you. Nana, nana, boo, boo. We're going to keep doing it. F you. And I don't like bullies. And so I go, you know what? No, F you, man. And someday when the revolution comes, you're the first to go.
Well,
God, man. I can't stand bullies, man. You know what I mean? It pisses me off.
well, just to be clear, do you like bullies?
No,
or,
I
okay.
hate them. But look, and I understand what you're saying. There are things that it's just people do some unspeakable things out there, and I don't know how to deal with that. But
No, yeah, I understand. I'm with
the
you.
most part-
I'm with you. Like these people, you shouldn't have to pay if you've turned your life around to vote again. No, that doesn't.
well, I
make
don't
sense.
want to sound like I'm on the side of serial killers.
Well, it
You know
seems
what I
like
mean? Yeah,
It seems like it.
So-
I think you're pro serial killer. That's why we got out of the show.
I think-
All right, everybody, we're out.
Earlier in the show, I said I'm against murder, didn't I?
I don't
Pretty
think
sure
you
I
did.
did.
Well, hey, edit that out.
Recall.
edit that part out.
Get rid of
Peyton.
that. Yep.
Edit that out.
All right, let's go to the next current event. Last one for the day.
Do we want North Korea or do we want Facebook?
North
I
Korea.
could yell about both of them.
Let's do both.
Actually, let's just all go around the room real quick. Which one's worse, North Korea or Facebook?
Facebook.
Are you serious? North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea.
Fucking Facebook, dude.
Facebook.
What?
Yeah,
Facebook.
North Korea. Look, North Korea is, in my opinion. Oh, I'm not even going to talk about it. Actually,
Yeah,
'Cause-
genocide
No, I'm not
versus
gonna-
Facebook.
I'm not going to talk
Go
about it. I was
ahead.
going to make. No, because I was going to make a joke, and then I was like, no, never mind.
Yeah,
I'm done.
okay, yeah,
I'm not talking
yeah.
about it. No, I'm
And his
talking
career was saved.
about- I'm not talking about it. I was going to make a dumb, stupid joke, and I'm not going to do it. No.
Let's go North Korea
No one,
first.
because you know what? We live in 2019, and no one can take a joke anymore. So even though it would have been a complete joke, not even going to go there, because nobody understands humor anymore.
At the commercial break.
I want to hear it. What's North Korea, Michael?
North Korea tests fire
Did I just-
short-range missile.
Oh, what?
Well, obviously, yeah. There's. How good did those visits up there to North Korea work,
Hey, don't worry about it. We're gonna make an excellent deal. He's gonna do everything we want. Don't worry about it.
dude? Come on. If you really believe that was going to work, come on, guys. Haven't you learned anything about politicians and politics? Anyway, what's Facebook, Michael?
Facebook bans Louis Farrakhan, Alex Jones, and other dangerous voices.
I don't know the other guys.
Milo Yiannopoulos, Paul Joseph Watson.
Probably Ben
Here's
Shapiro
what I have
and
to say.
All those guys.
Here-
Not Ben Shapiro. He's
Not
more
yet. Well, I mean,
mainstream.
maybe it's gonna soon though. You know what I mean?
Here's my thing with that. Obviously, like ISIS shouldn't have a Facebook page. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
You should put that in quotes and then put that on the pitch document that you send out for this show. Like ISIS should not have a Facebook page. Wesam
Obviously.
Quiche.
Emperor.
Have any of you watched Alex Jones on Rogan's podcast recently?
I've seen just Alex.
I feel like I've seen Alex Jones a bunch and I know his rap and no, I haven't seen him specifically on Rogan's show, but
Yeah, he's kind of crazy.
kind of.
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, he's very, very crazy.
He's absolutely out to lunch and insane. And by the way, at me, I don't give a fuck. That guy's fucking crazy.
but
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Alex Jones should show up right here, right now, mad at me. I'll take my shirt off and fight him. I don't care. That guy's an idiot. He's a complete moron.
do you guys feel? How about this? I'll say this. Do you guys feel like Facebook company and Twitter company lean more left than right?
I don't think it leans any
I don't.
way.
I think it
necessarily.
depends on the day of the week.
Really
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
I think at the end of the day, and again, everything. This is my opinion, which is all I have. I think at the end of the day, like companies want to make money, and that's what they do. They're just corporations. If they can make $1, they'll make $1. The same way, I don't think that Alex Jones. I mean, I think someone like Alex Jones in the beginning might not have necessarily actually believed most of the shit he says, but now it's been so long that he convinces himself of all the crap that he spews. But in the beginning, I think he was going like, "Oh, if I say this thing, I get a lot of attention, and that makes me a lot of money. All right, well, I'll just kind of lean into it a little bit." And then you fast forward 10, 12 years down the line, and you know, all of a sudden he's at the bottom of this well looking up going like,
Yeah.
I don't even think he knows who he is anymore. I mean, dude, the guy says that like the Sandy Hook thing was fake or whatever. Like, and he believes that. He literally believes that.
Wait.
He's insane.
Wait, to clarify that, you should rewatch the latest episode of the Joe Rogan thing.
No, he's probably walking it back because
Yeah, listen, by the way, when I'm saying all this stuff, I'm not defending anybody. I'm literally just asking people to rewatch it, get different perspectives. And sometimes it's hard for people whenever they disagree with someone or they think somebody's crazy. Like, I really do sincerely think that he's kind of crazy. Like, there's a mental instability about him. But I think it's also important to really hear out that person because there might be something that you would have missed in the first time.
No, not with him.
Why?
That guy's a dirtbag.
Well, again, just watch. I highly suggest you listen to it.
Isn't it funny
That's all.
how he flip-flopped, by the way? Like, Wesam was like black and white on the murderers, and I was like, well, they're all humans. And now I'm like, that guy's a dirtbag. And you're like, well, we're all humans. It's kind of just funny.
Shades of Grey, baby.
Yeah, it's interesting.
No, he's kind of went back on it, and I think honestly, this is, I think, what was his deal. And it's kind of similar to what you said about Alex Jones. I think his whole thing with his show, why it got so much viewership in the millions and everything, because of his craziness. And he was riding that wave. And then you know how it is. Sometimes we ride that wave too hard and we say shit that we really don't mean, but we're like, oh, this is going to get me some views. You know what I mean? And he's just on that wave uncontrollably, and then you mix that in with instability.
If I start yelling about whether you put ketchup on a hot dog or not, it doesn't lead to like violence in the streets, you know. And that guy, those people that have those pulpits like that, it leads to actual people getting hurt. And people, I mean, it's you have real world consequences, and so. To me, I go, dude, that was so irresponsible, and you led to like so much pain in certain things, and you radicalize your followers that I'm like, I don't care how much you try to walk it back now. You've already gone so far to the other side.
You're 100% correct. There is an issue with that though, because when I asked you guys earlier, do you feel like Facebook or Twitter lean a certain way too much, like to the left side too much? Was because Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, his attorney, and not attorney, but someone who represents the company in the free speech area, versus there was who people called like a super, like I guess he's like a conservative reporter, I guess you could say. Did you watch that episode, Michael?
Which one?
It was with Jack Dorsey came back on the Twitter CEO to the Joe Rogan podcast and addressed some other things about free speech, and they mentioned that the conservative journalist mentioned that, okay, so you think for your platform it's not okay for people to incite violence on one another, which you're saying is wrong, and I think we all agree like you shouldn't do that. Yeah,
sure.
It's shown like incident after incident that they kind of ignore leftist extremist tweets and comments more than the right side. So it's like more right side conservative
Who does?
comments.
Who
Twitter,
ignores it?
Twitter.
It's really an algorithm. It's not like Twitter is specifically like going through and like parsing through them.
But I mean, what are you?
You're right.
But
Sorry
what kind
to
of
interrupt.
violence are you talking about?
Like posting somebody's address, posting I'm going to kill you. Hey, people should beat this person up. That kind of stuff. But you're right. It is an algorithm. And then what was frustrating about that episode was the Twitter representative. Again, I don't know if she was a lawyer in her past work or what she has in the company exactly, what her status is or her job. But she kept saying, see, I would have to see that specific case. See, I would have to see that specific case. And a lot of it is run on algorithms. But then you see the unbalance of conservative versus liberal views. that to me is a problem.
I don't know if that even really exists or not. I'm not,
telling you it does.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean,
Okay, okay,
I don't know. I haven't
All right.
seen it. I have no. What the hell do I know? I'm just a actor who, by the way, is verified on Twitter. Here's the thing. Look. We live in a place. What do I fucking know? I don't know, but I'm just gonna say this anyway. We live in a place where we want freedom of speech. Okay,
Yeah.
and I believe wholeheartedly in freedom of speech. You could say whatever the hell you want. That joke I was going to make earlier, I should have just made it. It's just speech, everybody. It's a joke, okay? But when you threaten someone else or whatever, that freedom no longer exists. Like, I can sit here and say anything I want because we're sitting in America and because I'm a citizen and because that's what makes everything amazing. I can sit here and say I disagree with the president. That's fantastic. But I can't sit here and say I'm going to do harm to the president because that now bleeds itself into being a threat. And that shouldn't, I don't think that should be protected. So what I'm saying is, don't take these people off of Facebook. Don't take these people off of Twitter. Let them say whatever the hell they want. If they get followers, they have followers. But the second that they start inciting violence or whatever, no.
So-
that gets taken away. You can't,
right,
it's the
right.
age-old example. You can't yell fire in a crowded theater, right? We all have heard that. It's the same thing on Twitter.
But let's say you make jokes about, for instance, people who wear khaki pants and have black hair and a black hoodie.
Right.
And you're making some harsh jokes about that.
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, that's inciting more people to do that. And yeah, it's not creating, it's causing violence, it's causing emotional damage to me by doing that. So who's to say that's not hurting me?
Look,
That's a
can't-
literal. I'm saying that's not hurting me, but that's what people are saying about certain jokes. So then, as us, how do we debate what's okay? How do
because
we
you
debate
can't.
what's
Because
fine?
in my opinion, you can't. You're never gonna like live in such a clean world where you're able to step out your front door and not be offended by anything and blah blah blah. So like that's just part of being an adult.
Yeah.
So if I sit here and I say like, oh man, like dumb black sweatshirt or whatever.
Oh, dude,
Like,
my heart
that's-
dropped. I thought you were
like-
going to say something else. Dumb black sweatshirt. I was like, oh, what?
What? No, dude, I don't live in Florida. No, it's fine. No, but like that might hurt your feelings or whatever. But at the end of the day, like you're an adult. You kind of have to like figure out how to deal with those emotions. I'm an adult. I shouldn't even be saying those things in the first place. We should all just kind of like work towards not getting to that place. But now, if I say, if I say we need to kill everybody who wears the khakis and the black sweatshirt, well, now we've got an issue here. That's what I'm saying. Like, just
For
because it
sure.
hurts your feelings, I mean, so what? Like, I say that all Boston Red Sox fans are drunken racists. Okay, well, that might hurt their feelings, but it's not against the law.
Well, again, people are arguing that because you're doing that incites more people to gang up on me emotionally and causes me emotional and mental distress.
Well-
listen, I'm
don't know.
I'm just giving you the devil's advocate on this side of the
I hear
story.
you. I mean, what's the difference between Twitter and someone just standing on a soapbox on a corner back in the day anyway?
I was gonna bring
that's,
that up.
That's what it is. It's just now you have more people who stop on your street corner and listen to you, and it's worldwide and global. But you've been able to say your opinion out there forever, at least in this country, and how people take it and deal with it and how you navigate those waters, I mean, that's...
The thing with Alex Jones
Up to you.
the thing with like just looking specifically at Alex Jones is
Yeah.
that if you saw him like ranting on a street corner, would you give that guy a platform to espouse those views on a national level, on a national scale?
Mm-hmm.
And would you, and in the case of like Sandy Hook,
Mm-hmm.
he incited people who then harassed the family members
Mm.
of the parents of the children who were killed.
yeah, that's not okay.
But I feel like...
That's again. I'm not saying.
No, I know.
I'm against that. No, I just want to make that clear from the record, so nobody's like, "Oh, Sam loves Alex Jones" or some stupid shit. Just
No,
because
but in my opinion, like, talk about what you were just saying.
we got, I think, a minute or two. Just so you know.
We live in a place where we're supposed to like let the free market figure all this stuff out, right? That's the whole thing that, right? I
Yes,
mean, it's
yes.
like, so if he gets on there and he says that stuff and it causes people to then harass these families and whatever, which is, by the way, horrible. If you don't like that or whatever and you own a company and you don't like that, then don't sponsor his show. Thus, he won't get any money. Thus, he stops saying the things he's saying. You take his platform away, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's not, hey, you're not allowed to have a show where you say that, because I don't want to live in that place either. I don't want to live in that censorship place. But what it is look, you are allowed to say that thing. It's just I hope nobody listens to you. Okay? But I can't control whether people listen to you or not. All I can do is not listen to your stupid ass and hope that other people follow me in that. Does that make sense to me?
Yeah,
30 seconds.
To you guys? Because,
Yeah.
I mean, it's free speech, bro.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Which is why we've been able to say everything we've been saying.
Mother. Why do you love Alex Jones? That's what I don't get.
It's mostly his forearms.
Yeah.
I think he's got some well-defined forearms, and I like how red his face gets when he's yelling about how there's actual lizard people in the government.
Dude, him and Eddie Bravo, he has some of the craziest conspiracy theories. I've
I
watched
don't know
him
who
on
that-
Fight.
I've honestly never heard of that person.
Eddie Bravo is a friend of Joe Rogan's. He is a world-renowned Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner,
Sounds
master.
like a failed WWE superstar. Eddie Bravo coming off the top rope with John Cena.
He's actually a pretty incredible martial artist.
Whoa, look at that. He twisted him into a pretzel. He's sucking his own dick. Eddie Bravo.
Whoa. You don't even know who this guy is. He's just so angry.
No, I'm just making a joke. I don't know.
Are you? Maybe you should be banned.
I think since you've given out his martial arts credits, though, he is one that I don't want him to come to this studio and take his shirt off.
He would
and
literally
fight.
fuck all of us up.
Yeah, he sounds like a badass. All right, tell me more about him.
No, he just believes in some of the craziest conspiracy theories, like how dinosaurs' fossils are fake and like,
Oh well,
the
then he's
flat
an
Earth.
idiot. You hear that, Eddie? At me, but please don't come to the studio.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. Why do we get all bogged down in this kind of stuff? You know, all these conspiracy theories and stuff.
Because people like it. It's fun for
Yeah,
them.
but people are stupid, man.
People
it's
like
not
it,
just
man.
fun for them. They create like cults out of these types of things. They create these like cults of ideas. It goes beyond just fun. Look, if they were just having fun with it, I wouldn't have such a problem with it. It's when you see a 8-year-old child at a flat earth convention that I go, all right, it's getting a little dangerous now. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you want to just have fun with your friends out in the backyard, drinking a couple Coors Lights and talking about how maybe the earth is flat, I don't have such a problem with you. But when you actually believe it and you're then, you know, recruiting other people to believe it and sort of, what's the word, like proselytizing, or like, you know, you're like almost like a missionary, like going out and like spreading the gospel of flat earth to try to get more people, I go like, all right, now we've got an issue.
No bueno.
Have you seen this article about this physicist who formulates how long that conspiracy theories could realistically remain a secret?
Huh.
And so he calculated that for the moon landing to be a fake, for it to last at least 5 years, it would need to involve just 2,521 people.
For it to last 5 years.
For it to last just 5 years.
I wonder what kind of
exposed.
I wonder what kind of algorithm he used to
I don't know.
figure that out. That's interesting.
That would be a whole episode, try to dive into that. Dude, look.
Well, it's just people. It's people talking. People always talk. The more people that you involve in something,
The longer
more,
it can last.
I get that.
The more
part.
people involved, the shorter amount of time. it will last.
The more actual like NASA officials.
Not even
Is that what you're
just
saying?
Not even just NASA officials, but the amount of for as big of an endeavor as it was, the amount of people involved. That's how long it would have taken
Oh, I
for
see.
the secret to come out, quote unquote.
Damn it, Jimmy,
Because
you're
there's-
blowing my mind. You're blowing my mind right now.
So yeah, he just uses a model about specifically for the moon landings to have been a hoax, and it would have been exposed in 3 years and 8 months.
Yeah.
Because of
Interesting.
how many people were involved in every like step of the way. Because people talk, and that's the thing.
I got something to say to all the people out there. Much similar to what Wesam was saying to his brother with the skateboard. Shut the fuck up, pay some taxes, raise your kids right, and leave the earth better than you found it. Quit getting bogged down by whether Neil was actually standing on the moon or not. Who gives a shit? And how does it affect your daily life? It doesn't. So shut up, go read to your kids, and then die someday.
I got a couple quick fires for you, man. Do you believe in any conspiracy theories at all?
I think they're fun to talk about, but I mean, you'd have to give me an example. I don't know many of them off the top of my head. Like the moon landing, for example.
Yeah.
No, they definitely landed on the moon. Okay. I mean, you're talking about people who are taking on that endeavor, who come from military backgrounds, who are like some of the most stand-up dudes ever, who are straight shooters, who are not going to lie, no matter how much they are getting paid or what. Because what would their reasoning be? Hey, Neil, lie about this.
Yeah.
That guy has so. Have you ever read his book? I mean, that guy was a fighter pilot in wars. This guy is like a
Fake.
just incredibly noble, stand-up, honorable person, and there is no way in hell he's gonna let them throw him a ticker tape parade
Dude,
in
you're
New
a
York
shill.
if he didn't actually do
You're a
it.
shill. You work for them.
No, man.
You work for NASA.
No,
You've
you know what?
changed
I
ever
had-
since you got your haircut.
No,
Bullshit.
I had two grandfathers who came from the same generation who were both military men who had such pride in it and took it so seriously. That's the other thing. Like, we don't take anything seriously anymore. And we don't like nobility and honor and strength of your convictions are sort of like going out the window with all this social media and everything that we're talking about. And my God, I sound like an old man. But I grew up with these men who they take that stuff seriously, and they're not liars. Like, they're not just out there going like, yeah, I landed on the moon. I mean, that would come out, dude.
Well, that's what.
There's no way.
That's what the formula accounts for. Is that it could either have been deliberately uncovered by a whistleblower or inadvertently revealed by a bungler.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's about probability.
Come on, especially in all the years since, okay? You don't think like WikiLeaks or Snowden or anything like that would go like, oh, by the way, also, here's proof that was on a soundstage in Culver City.
Dude, have you
Come
seen
on.
the Snowden movie?
Love it.
Yeah.
What, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt one?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen
I
it.
didn't watch it.
No, I haven't
It's
seen
actually pretty
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. Moon landing? No.
They studied the moon landing. They studied climate change, vaccinations, and cancer cure conspiracy.
Okay, here's a series of quick fires because
And I'll tell you if I think they have merit or not.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not just conspiracy theories. So
Okay.
brace yourself. I'm gonna pull a BRETT DAVERN show, classic BRETT DAVERN show.
Classic BDS move.
Yeah.
By the
Ready?
way, the BRETT DAVERN show never gets this heavy.
It does. You know, next time I'm on,
does.
can I get really heavy?
Yeah, if you
Ruin
want.
everybody's morning commute.
You watch me tap dance as a host and keep pulling you out of it
Oh
every
my
time.
gosh.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
Rapid fire. I'm clearing my brain. Go
real
ahead.
or fake? Bigfoot.
Fake.
Ghost. Real or fake?
Oh, absolutely fake.
Loch Ness monster. Real or fake?
Fake.
Do you believe in anything, sir?
I mean, yeah, I believe in the natural world around us and what we have
Okay.
seen and discovered with our own eyes.
Vatican archives keeping secrets from the public that will change the world. Real or fake?
I don't know if they would change the world, but there's definitely secrets that they don't want you to find out 100%.
Why wouldn't they want you to find out?
Here's
Because for years I mean, are you kidding? I'm just with the
So they would
sexual
change
stuff
the world?
alone. I mean, are you kidding
So
me?
they changed the world? You think?
here's the top 10, and I'm gonna ask both of you.
Top 10 what?
Conspiracy theories.
Oh, okay.
Shadow government
I don't know what that means. You mean like the Illuminati?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
operates behind the
Yeah.
behind the scenes in the United States, Britain, and many other.
I believe that.
countries.
No.
Organized religion, in other words, is general theory is that religion is most part used as a tool to manipulate and control people who think they're doing good for God.
I think that's what religion is.
Partly.
I think you just
not for the most
described
part.
religion.
Reptilians rule the world.
No.
I love how we both agreed on that.
No.
We're like, absolutely not. That's the
No,
dumbest shit I've
that's
ever
the
heard of in my
stupidest
life.
thing I've ever heard.
And watch that be the real thing.
Wouldn't it be great if, like, 3 years from now, like, you know, whoever it is who's the president or whatever, like, takes off the mask and we're like, oh my God, Alex Jones was right!
Oh,
Like,
shit!
Mind is blown. Like, and he's like, and Alex Jones takes off his mask. He's a reptile too. He's like,
Oh my-
I was telling you.
This is a movie idea.
The JFK assassination.
That's for sure conspiracy.
That it wasn't, that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone. I think that
Boy, this is a tough one for me because I'm really into that one. I like that one a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
really, I love it.
I was really into it as a kid as well.
I obviously don't love what happened, but it fascinates me. I've been to Dallas. I was shooting something in Dallas one time, and so I went to the book depository that Lee Harvey Oswald was supposedly shooting out of, is a museum now, and you start at the bottom and you walk through it, and so it's like a maze or something that you like have to walk through it in that way, and it ends at the window that he was supposedly shooting out of, or maybe he did shoot out of, and that's where the tour ends, and you're wearing headphones, so you're like immersed as you're looking at all these things, and it's telling the story of how we got to that place or whatever, and it ends at the window, and you look out the window, and there's a white X that is actually painted on the street down below, which is where the first shot hit the president. And so it's just a very eerie thing to be standing there looking at that. And I'm completely fascinated by it. Do I think that he was Lee Harvey Oswald was like in on it? Probably. Do I think he acted alone? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree with Brett on that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Alien
But do I,
abductions.
but do I think it was like the government and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm not like one of those guys. His head goes back, dude. Watch the footage. His head goes back and to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left, back. and to the left.
Alien abductions.
No.
I've never heard a credible one. That's the thing. Like where I'm like, where's the proof?
But yet you believe in Bigfoot? And ghosts?
Some kind of spirit world. Yeah, not ghosts. As for Bigfoot goes, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a very small population of some kind of ape in the British Columbia area, or even undiscovered ape in the Congo, parts of Africa, which are very hard to get to. Or
what was the question you asked? Oh, aliens. I would lean more towards believing in alien abductions than I do believing in like ghosts and spirits and things like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because at least aliens would be like an actual being, like a physical, tangible thing. Whereas ghosts, I mean, come on, people. That
Interesting.
don't exist.
Interesting.
Some of the rest of these are a little like
Give us one more.
very similar.
Okay, one more.
This one is I'm not touching that one.
What is it? Flat Earth?
No.
What is
Because
it?
flat Earth, you guys are idiots.
now I
The
kinda
Earth
wanna
is
know.
a sphere. Get over it.
It's the 9/11 was a false flag.
Oh no. Wait, false flag. What does that mean?
That means like it was like the government allowed it to happen so that they could.
Look, there are some weird things about that. I've watched those documentaries. There are some strange things, but I mean, come on, people. Like, and also, you know what? At the end of the day, just like the moon thing, regardless of how it happened or why it happened or whatever, a lot of people, lost their lives and a lot of families were changed. So, I mean, does it even matter at the end of the day? I mean, it was a fucking tragedy, and like,
I don't think anybody's.
I don't really need to like parse it out. I'm just saying that I don't need to know the answer. It was horrible, and I hate all of it. And
Mr.
who cares at the end of the day? It was terrible.
Mr. Michael, if you
Yes,
don't
sir?
mind, can you just Google for me how much was missing from the Pentagon in
Oh,
terms
no.
of? No, this is like a legit thing. Like there is like a budget sheet that was like from taxes that the Pentagon
Oh
got,
man.
and
It was like trillions of dollars.
yeah, it was something ridiculous. and there-
8.5 trillion. Oh no, wait. It says it was debunked.
It was debunked.
There you go.
Well,
Then-
there's something like 6.5 trillion was.
But
debunked.
Let me.
But who
you know what?
debunked it?
No, hold on.
The military.
You know what? Before I even continue this, let me do some more research. If you're seeing something that I was debunked, I haven't done research on this in like a long time, like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but hold on.
So
Can I play Alex Jones for a second? Yeah, but who debunked it? The government? The government debunked it. You can't debunk your own thing. You can't debunk the debunkee. You're the debunker.
this is like a flash forward 20 years from now. Brett on IDOBI radio.
Yeah, but it sort of sounds like Larry David doing Alex Jones. You can't debunk the debunkee. You're the debunker.
Your beard's out to here. You're really bald. Okay, guys, let's play it. Let's play our music.
All right, that's it.
Brett, thanks for coming on the show, my friend.
Let me just say one more thing. You can play the music, whatever. But one more thing. Like this is the reason that I try to end our morning show with just these same words every single time, which is just be kind and take care of each other. Because in my opinion, it's just my opinion, at the end of the day, whether this stuff's true, false, whatever, if at the end of the day you're just being kind to one another and taking care of one another, we're all going to make it.
Love it.
Ready?
We are out. Yep, let's go. Boom. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into the show. Thank you, IDOBI Radio, Nice Guy Digital. Brett Davern, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me, dude.
You can check out Brett's morning show every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific time here on IDOBI Radio. Definitely recommend it. Thank you.
Sponsored by Alex Jones.
No. Thank you, Michael the Chimney. Thank you, Peyton the Griffin.
The chimney.
Thank you, Steph, for all your social media prowess. Thank you, the new subscribers, new listeners to the show. We really appreciate you. Make sure you leave a review on iTunes and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. You can always watch our stuff out there.
Yo, and if you
And
believe
then-
in flat Earth, hit me up on Twitter at BDAV, BDAVV. If you want to yell at me, no one ever yells at me on Twitter. You want to yell at me? Let's go at it. I don't care.
Do it. Thank you to our Sarah today for your listener question, and every week we'll be doing an Ask Wesam segment in the beginning, so make sure you send us your questions about life, relationships, and whatever you want.
And drink Guayaki yerba mate.
Guayaki.
Guayaki,
Close.
sorry.
No worries. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember to listen, think, and then talk.
That's some real shit.